Hi Flosstube, I'm Annie and I am the Proper Stitcher, and welcome to episode 101. If this is your first time joining me, I am so glad you stopped by today. This is a channel where I like to talk about cross stitch, sometimes quilting, and hopefully give you inspiration to fully finish your projects. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your continued support, all of your wonderful comments and messages you send my way. I appreciate each and every one of you. So I hope you all have had a great week. I am coming to you today with a big announcement that will come in just a few minutes. I wanted to go through some other things before we jump right into the big announcement, but I am excited to be here with you today. I've been wanting to record since I woke up this morning, but we woke up to some major storms in the Knoxville, East Tennessee area, and it is dark and gloomy and the thunder is loud. So I've been waiting and waiting for the storms to pass, and I think they're just here all day. So maybe I don't have as much light as I would like, but I'm still excited to share all this wonderful stuff with you. So here we go. Let's jump right into today's episode. Grab a pen and paper, grab your favorite beverage, grab your cross stitching, and let's get started. I will give you a little bit of a warning. I will be pausing the video quite often, kind of in segments, so be patient with that. It will also create a little longer time in uploading the video, but I just really want to be able to take a deep breath between each segment so that I make sure to not forget any information. So grab your pen and paper. So let's jump into life announcements. So I get the Mother of the Year award, and I say that jokingly. I thought my child, my son, Tristan, was coming home from Colorado after being gone for a whole month. I thought he was coming home tomorrow night, on Friday night. I have planned this. I have thought in my mind for weeks that he is coming home tomorrow. I don't know why I thought that. Somebody must have told me that. I wrote it down wrong or something. But he comes home tonight. So he will be home about midnight tonight. So we are super excited to have him home. I can't wait to hear all about his camp experience. As he went to Colorado to a Young Life camp for a month to do the work crew session at the camp. So he has been working for a month, so I can't wait to hear all about it. He'll be home late tonight. Gray has one more week of work left, and then she'll have 2 weeks before we take her back to school. So summer is going by super fast. I will say that I do need to apologize. I don't usually like to do that, but I mean, I like to apologize when I do something wrong. But I know you all know my videos are not perfect. I am not a production company, but last week I have to apologize. I forgot to edit the video before I uploaded it. My remote was out of battery, and so I had to manually push the button to record the video, and I forgot to edit that part out. So the reason I find that funny, for many different reasons. One, I usually don't do that, but two, last week, right before I recorded my 100th episode, I was running around like crazy. I really wanted to make my announcement last week, but things just were not ready to do that. So I was a little disappointed about that. And before I hit record, I thought, oh, I'm going to go freshen up a little bit, but I didn't want to go all the way downstairs to my bathroom. So I decided to go into Gray's bathroom, and I wasn't wearing my glasses, and I went under her sink and pulled out what I thought, sorry, I have an itchy nose today. I thought I was pulling out her hairspray. And she must have some fancy hairspray and other products under there, because her hairspray and all of her products do not look like mine. I grabbed what I thought was hairspray. Come to find out, it was shaving gel, which I didn't realize that's what it was. It was in the same kind of tube or bottle as the hairspray. Same company, same color, same everything. And I thought I was grabbing that, and I just took it and went like this. And when I did that, it was shaving gel. So the shaving gel, and not cream, but gel, it shot out from the bottle across the top of my head, on the back of the door, everywhere. It made this huge mess. So I was already flustered going in to record the video. I then had to go and wash my hair because I had shaving gel all in my hair. So I was a little out of sorts last week, and I hope that didn't come through on camera, but it certainly did make things a little bit different for me on this end. So I, of course, can laugh about that now, but I thought I'd share that story with you. So if you are doing the same thing in your daughter's room or granddaughter's room, and you run under the sink to grab what you think is her hairspray, check twice. Shaving cream and hairspray apparently are different than what I was expecting, because whew, that was a mess. So anyway, I had to tell Gray that story. She thought it was funny, but she also didn't realize that the shaving gel, it was just this whole thing. She didn't realize that shaving gel was still under her sink. So anyway, this week I did not do that. So let's get into what's going on this week. So here we go. Like I said, I have a lot of notes because I did not want to forget anything. So this is how the order of operations is going to go for this episode. I'm going to show you some haul. I'm going to talk about the stitch along I am co-hosting, and talk to you a little bit about my visit to Johnson City this weekend. And then we'll jump into my big announcement, and then we will come back for our giveaways. So here we go. So this week, what I got in the mail, I did get some linen in the mail from Stitch Etc., and I got some floss in the mail, but I didn't bring those to show you. It was just my replenishment of cream and sugar fiber on a whim. I didn't bring it to show you, and just some floss for some projects I'm working on. But I did get from Keepsakes this Heart and Hand Anytown Tiny Town pattern. This is an exclusive pattern that Heart and Hand, Cecilia Turner, designed for Keepsakes. And this is part of her Tiny Town series. And they took pre-orders, and I couldn't wait to get my name on the list. But this is so sweet with all of the little shops and bookstore and coffee shops. And there is Keepsakes right here. Keepsakes is right there. So this is part of the Tiny Town series. It is precious. You can contact Keepsakes for your copy if you want. I believe they're still accepting orders on this, but I will one day stitch this. But I thought it was really sweet, and I love how it's finished into a drum, so I may do that. But this is Anytown Tiny Town. It is an exclusive at Keepsakes, and it's by Heart and Hand. And I will list Keepsakes website below, so that if you're interested, you can reach out to them. Their website, you can order it directly on the website, or you can call them if it's not on the website and see if they're taking any more orders. Anytown, Tiny Town, Heart and Hand. So cute. I have in that series, they have the Patriotic, Christmas, Halloween, and Seaside. I believe the Seaside's on the back of this one. Seaside Tiny Town. That's another cute design. I love it. That's probably my favorite one, the Seaside one. But so excited. Heart and Hand. Celia is so talented, and I love seeing all of her projects and all of her patterns. So if you missed last week, I am co-hosting with Zan, Crazy Band Stitch Lady, and Tammy Blaylock, Creative Country Girl. We are co-hosting a stitch along, and it is going to start on August the 1st, and it is Birds and the Bees by Heart and Hand. If you would like to join us, you can start anytime. There are no rules. Start when you want, stitch as fast as you want. It just, no rules apply, but this is such a sweet design, and we thought that the month of August would be perfect for this stitch along. So this says, bless the flowers and the weeds, all the birds and the buzzing bees. So this is still available to order. It's an older pattern, but you can get it from your local needlework store. You can get it online. Lots of places have it. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. I will also link Zan and Tammy's Flosstube channels below. So if you would like to go and watch them and see their announcements, you can. So Birds and the Bees by Heart and Hand. And I am using all of the call for floss and the call for fabric. So I am stitching this on. It calls for 32 count vintage country mocha, and I happen to have that in my stash. So I am stitching this on vintage country mocha, and I think I've pulled all the floss. If not, I'm going to. I think I had a few items I still need to get Saturday when I go to Johnson City. So here are some of the colors, and it is a good blend of DMC. First of all, there's a DMC conversion for all the colors, but there are Classic Colorworks, Gentle Arts, and Weeks Dye Works. But there's a DMC conversion for all of them. But here's some of the colors that I had in my stash. I thought I had all the colors, but I'm missing a few. So I hope you join us. This is such a sweet little design. And I just love stitching these. So it's going to be a fun cross stitch project to work on. So that is my stitch along. Starts August the 1st, and hope you can join us. So I did get 2 antique pieces this week, samplers, or if you will, little projects. So I want to share those with you because they're super special. One of them actually just arrived, and I have not had time to clean the glass. I was just too excited to share it with you. But this is a very small piece on punch paper. Perforated paper, punch paper, perforated paper. And it has these beautiful bluebirds on them. And I have had my eye on this for a long time, and I finally decided that these guys needed to come home to me. So it's a tiny little piece. It will probably come out of this frame, and I will, like I said, it just arrived. So I just wanted to go ahead and show it to you. But the 2 birds facing each other, and it says love on there. So pretty. The beautiful shades of blue and that lime green or mossy green. So I'm excited about that. It's tiny. I mean, it looks like a bookmark size. So that was one. And this other one, I had to take it out of the frame immediately because the frame was falling apart, and the sampler has suffered significant damage. So I really wanted to get it out of the frame as quickly as possible. It was also hand stitched to an old piece of velvet that had a lot of holes in it, and it was also very damaged. So I immediately threw away the frame. It was not worth saving. And the piece of velvet on the back was so tattered, and it had bugs, and I just had to get it out of there. So this is the little sampler. I have not had a chance to really study it, but the girl's name on it is Sarah White, and she stitched this July 29th, 1800. So here we go. I might have to put this with I have this acid-free tissue paper that I keep everything wrapped in, all my antique samplers that are not framed. But here she is. And I will tell you what I love the most about this. I loved this bow on this little bouquet here. But these butterflies, this butterfly here is gold and purple. So pretty. And these birds, I liked the bottom half of this sampler. Sarah did a beautiful job stitching this, and those pots of plants. it's just exquisite, absolutely exquisite. And I don't know much about her. I haven't researched it at all. I just received this. And I have not been able to read the words on here. It says, if you desire to worship God, first in the morning pray and last at night. Crave for his blessings on your labors, and in distress for his assistance call. And that's all I can really see. And then at the top, she has her marking letters, and then some various initials. But she's really pretty, but super damaged. So I am so glad. Here's the back of her, so you can get an idea of the colors, how they initially looked. Very vibrant. You can see the greens, you can see the yellows, all of those pretty colors, the golds and the purples. Oh, and I don't know if you noticed, of course I noticed it right away when I got it, but she's got these cute little dogs down here. I just love a sampler with dogs in it. So cute. So I got that this week. I'm just so excited to get these in the mail. At the end of this video, I have also, I will upload a video of my sewing room tour. And in that video, I am going to show you the samplers that I have hanging on the wall. I've given you that tour before, but I just did a brief little tour so you can see some of the other antique samplers I have that are hanging on my wall. So what we're going to do right now is take a brief break, and then I am going to come right back with my announcement. So hold on. Before I forget, this Saturday, July 22nd, I will be at Cross Stitch and Crafts in Johnson City, Tennessee for their 25th birthday bash. Sandra and Amy have been planning a really fun weekend or Saturday at their shop. They will have Bonnie Wimmer with the Nebby Needle will be there. I will be there, and Pete's Biscuits will be there. He and his wife will be there. I'm not sure who else. I know she's been trying to get other people to join us, but that is going to be a fun-filled day at the store celebrating their birthday, 25 years in business. I think that's phenomenal, and I am so excited to go and to be a part of that celebration. It's just going to be so much fun. So I'll be there all day Saturday. If you're in the area, you are welcome to come by. We would love to see you. We would just love to say hi. So come on by and see us. I will link their website below with their address and their Facebook page. So if you have any questions, or if you would like to place an order or anything like that, they will be open all day Saturday. So I hope you can stop by and see us, or wish them happy birthday. So, okay, so my announcement. And I did not want to script this. I did not want to take a lot of notes, but like I said earlier, I didn't want to forget anything important. So I will be referencing my notes because of a couple of reasons. One, I don't want to forget anything, and that is very possible with me. But also, I'm a little nervous too, and excited, and I just really can't wait to say it. I have been wanting to share this announcement with you all for a while, but I wanted to wait until I had everything ready to go. I wanted to wait until I had all of my ducks in a row, and that is why after the retreat that I co-hosted in June, that I took some time off from my Flosstube because I wanted to make the announcement on my 100th episode. That didn't happen, but I didn't want to keep delaying that episode. But that is why there was such a long pause between 99 and 100 episodes. So that hopefully explains a little bit of it. But let's just jump right in. There's just no way for me to kind of just give you this piecemeal. Okay, so you all have known that my word of the year, I started this in January, my word of the year has been courage. And I mean that by a lot of different ways. Some people, if you're new to my channel, some people have a word of the year, and every year it's a different word, and it's a word that they focus on throughout that year. And I announced in January that my word of the year was going to be courage, because I knew that this was something that I wanted to do, and I knew that I was going to need a lot of courage to do it. I don't know if you all have ever had something big in your life that you wanted to do, and for whatever reason you have found an excuse, or you found a way to delay it, or you found a way to talk yourself out of it. It could be something small or something big, and that is what I kept finding myself doing. I kept finding a reason not to follow this passion of mine or this next adventure of mine. And finally, at the end of last year, kind of in the middle of the fall, I thought, I'm going to do that. It is going to be my goal for 2023. So without further ado, what I am going to do is I have started a cross-stitch designing business, and I am so excited. I am excited to design patterns to bring to you all. I'm excited to reproduce samplers, and I'm going to reimagine samplers. And so I'm going to tell you what each of those aspects means to me and what that is. But I have had a passion for cross stitch for a long time, and you all have known that. That is what started the Flosstube channel. I returned to stitching about 12 years ago. Love every aspect of cross stitch. I have met some wonderful people along the way at retreats, at cross stitch stores, at market, Flosstubers, all of those things. And my passion just kept growing and growing and evolving and evolving. And I just feel like I have so much more that I want to share, and I have so much more that I want to bring to you. So that is what I'm going to do. I am going to bring that passion to you. So my philosophy when I started my Flosstube channel was, and I say it all the time, I would rather have a finished project than a perfect project. And I started thinking about samplers and why I personally didn't stitch big samplers, or why a lot of people didn't stitch or do not stitch big samplers. And they just don't seem attainable sometimes if you want something small to stitch. So I really wanted to kind of bring my philosophy from Flosstube into my designing and into my patterns and into what I decide to reproduce, and make those samplers more attainable to other stitchers, or to stitchers who just do not want a big sampler, or that may not be their taste. That does not mean that I will only be designing samplers or reproducing samplers. I will have original designs as well. So let's see what I am going to bring to you. So first and foremost, when I say that I am going to be reproducing samplers, that means that I am going to reproduce an antique sampler as the original was stitched. So any mistakes found in that sampler was by design on my part, that I wanted to reproduce it just as the original was stitched. And that is what I mean by my reproduction sampler. So just your straightforward, as you would expect, a reproduction sampler. I will also be doing what I am calling a reimagined sampler. And what that means is there are a lot of samplers that I have in my collection, or that I come across, that either they are damaged, or I may like part of the sampler but not all of it as a whole, or it's not calling to me. You know, I feel drawn to a certain part of the sampler but not the whole thing. Or some of it has been it's not something that is easy to reproduce. So I am going to call those samplers my reimagined samplers. So you will see what I'm talking about when I share some of those with you today. And then I will have some original designs to share with you as well. So I am, and then the original designs will be various sizes, various themes. I do have 4 that I am working on, and 3 of them are Halloween themed. So that is my 3 categories of patterns that I have been working on. And through this journey, I have learned so much along the way. I have researched paper, I have researched printers, I have researched how to sell these patterns, I have researched how to create on the Apple products, you know, on the software for the cross stitch designs. So it has just been a labor of love for a very long time, and it has been very hard not to share this with you because it is something I've been working on for several months. What I found myself doing is I would stitch and work on my designs during the day, and at night work on things to bring to you every week in on my Flosstubes. So, but it has been a wonderful journey. I have had a lot of help along the way, and before I show you my patterns, I really feel like it's important for me to say my thank yous because I could not have done this without so many people. And I know I probably have left some people off, and if I did, I am so sorry. But I have had, I've been very blessed and fortunate to have friends in the cross stitch and the Flosstube community who I can confide in and ask them for their advice and their opinions, and I'm so thankful for them. I would first like to thank Matthew and my family because they have heard me for a long time now about how I've been wanting to do this. They have supported me, they have helped me, they have given me their ideas, they have given me their opinion whether I wanted it or not. Matt was in here with me yesterday helping me print and fold and stuff bags for my patterns, and it's just been a great journey to take with my family. So thank you all so much. Okay, so I would really feel like I need to start off by thanking Chrissy Morgan with Finally a Farm Girl. Chrissy and I have been friends for a long time, and I have always admired her, not only as a person, but also as a designer and a fellow Flosstuber. She has helped me tremendously through this process. She has given me all of her words of wisdom, her tips, her advice, everything from printer suggestions to paper that she uses to you name it, bouncing ideas off of her. And she even model stitched one of the patterns for me because she could tell that I needed a little push, and she knew that my plate was full, and she said, send me one, send me something to stitch and I will stitch it for you. And so Chrissy, thank you so much. Of course, Kim Gavlik with Stitch Etc. has been a huge support for me. She has sent me fabric when I needed it. She has sent me floss when I needed it. And I thank you very much, Kim and Ashley at Stitch Etc. Melissa Lohr with Stitching with Mel. She has been an amazing supportive friend throughout this. She's also my editor. I forgot to list that on my patterns, but Melissa, thank you so much. She has helped me with proofreading and with editing, and I really do appreciate that because sometimes I can't get what I want to say on paper, and that is a great I guess a great talent of hers that I am so thankful that she shares with me. Sandra and Amy at Cross Stitch and Crafts, they have helped me tremendously as well. I have been to their stores so many times. They have given me their advice. They've helped me pull colors. They have cheered me on along the way, and all of their regulars that are in there stitching that know that this is what I'm doing, because sometimes it's hard to keep it a secret. I can't, that people wonder, why are you pulling floss up to an antique sampler? So it has been fun going to see them and getting their advice along the way. Jenny and Nancy with the Bougie Stitchers, they Zoom call me often. They check in on me. They see how I'm doing. Jenny is going to be one of my model stitchers. I'm sending her one of the Halloween pieces to stitch, and Nancy has just, with her wit and her words of encouragement, those two ladies have just, as they say, they've been straightening my crown. Judy Whitman, she was one of the first people that I spoke to, Judy with JBW Designs. She has been a wonderful friend, a wonderful mentor, and I thank her so much because she has been in this business for 30 years, and I appreciate her wealth of knowledge as well. Dawn Eck is always great for keeping me from talking me out of a tree. She's keeping me off the, from sitting on the fence. She gives me great advice. She is a good sounding board as well. Grace Notes Fabrics has sent me fabric to try and to use for some of my designs, And I appreciate that so much because it does add up when you're playing around with fabric and floss colors. And it was so thoughtful of Corinne to send me some of her fabric. And Ramona Bishop with Bennett in Knoxville, Tennessee. That is the gallery where I take my pieces to be framed. And Ramona is a cross stitcher herself. She has been in the cross stitch community for a long time. She's extremely talented, but she not only was very encouraging and very supportive, but she beautifully framed my pieces, but she got them to me in a very timely manner because she knew that I needed to photograph everything. I needed to get my patterns going, and I couldn't do some of these things until the items were framed. So Ramona, thank you so much for making me feel so special. I appreciate that. Tammy Blaylock, she has always been supportive and wonderful, and just a great friend to have as well. I know I'm forgetting some people, but all of you know who have helped me along this way and who have talked to me about it. I appreciate all of you so much. I'm just so thankful. I wanted to make sure to give you all that list of those people that I think or I'm so appreciative of before I show you the patterns, because I really feel like I would not be here showing these to you without their support. And of course, as always, I thank you guys as my viewers, because I've been so excited to share this with you. I feel like you're my friends and I can't wait to share these with you. So let's take a quick little pause, and then I'm going to show you one of the first designs. Okay, so my first design that I want to introduce you to is a Caroline Carter, 1823. So here is Caroline Carter. She is one of the first samplers I shared with you all, antique samplers that I shared with you all, and I'm going to show you that as well. But let me show you Caroline Carter before I give you all of the information about her. And I just can't believe I'm sharing with you one of my designs, one of my patterns. But this is Caroline Carter, 1823. So with my patterns, they come in a bag like this. The cover, all of the information is on the back of the pattern. So if you're shopping in a store, you can look on the back. It tells you everything you need to know. Stitch count, floss colors used, conversion if there's a conversion, what fabric I used, and the size of it. So then within the pattern, of course, the patterns are printed this was what took me the longest. It was finding the right paper. So they are printed on wonderful quality paper. Here's the pattern up the front of it. So I wanted to make sure that the pattern was big and easy to read. I have included with my antique reproduction samplers and imagined samplers, all the ones I'm going to share with you today, all have a letter from me, and it tells you in detail about the sampler. So it is a letter from me to you telling you a little bit more about the sampler. I'm going to show you just a little portion of my design. So patterns are easy to read. They're in color. They're big enough and so that you can see it. I have a color list and a DMC conversion on the pattern, and it is all kept within the bag. So everything you need is in the pattern, of course. But I just had so much fun creating this design for you. So let me tell you a little bit about Caroline Carter. Caroline Carter, the specifications of the pattern. So she is stitched 91, her stitch count is 91 by 97. So she's 91 stitches across and 97 stitches high. Her finished size is 5 inches by 5 3/8. She is stitched on, the model is stitched on 36 count Winter Brew by R&R Reproductions. Any neutral pattern will look beautiful on this. The only specialty stitches are would be in her name. Her name is stitched over 1. Everything else is stitched over 2. I stitched Caroline in MPI silks just because I loved all of the colors. The original was stitched in silk, but I do have a DMC conversion listed for you, and I made sure to take my time and give you a really good conversion so that it can be as close to these colors as possible. But in my letter, in the pattern, I explain what drew me to this pattern, or this antique sampler, why I love it so much. I love the greens and of course the blue, but I feel like she did an exceptional job. So this is an exact antique reproduction. So I stitched it and designed it and recharted it exactly as she stitched it. So I'm going to come in a little bit more and give you some closer looks. So these trees here, everything's a mirror image. And the 2 shades of green on that tree, these trees, absolutely beautiful. The blue in this basket, and then there's green in this basket. And then I love this little heart that Caroline stitched right here. The border is this really pretty braided border. And these fun little blue flowers are just so unique. I just love her choice of motifs. These trees here, she did a really good job on her spatial placement of the motifs, her color choices. Everything about it is just exquisite. She did a beautiful job. So this is Caroline Carter. She would be beautiful stitched on any count. With her name being over 1, you can either leave that off if you're an Ada stitcher, or you can put your initials in there somehow if you do not want to stitch anything over 1. You can even back stitch her name if you would rather do that. Let me show you the antique sampler. It has been quite some time since I showed this to you. I believe I found Caroline Carter maybe a year and a half ago, but here she is. She is damaged quite a bit as well. You can see the fading of her colors here, but still a beautiful piece. And she was so much fun to chart. I did spend a lot of time. I had her halfway stitched at one point and I started all over. I didn't like the color choices I was using. I felt like they really just, I tried not just to chart her in silk, but once I got into it, I just realized she just needed the silk or the DMC colors. The overdyes that I was trying to use just were not right. And so I went back to my original plan, which was to chart her in silks. So she is beautiful. Here's the back. And in the chart or the pattern, you will also receive photos of Caroline Carter's original here. We do not have a lot of we don't have any information on Caroline Carter. So, but there's still a great letter in there with some information about the pattern or the piece. So this, one more time, is a Caroline Carter 1823. She is a sweet little sampler, very easy to stitch. If you do not want to stitch the whole thing, just like I often say, you can pull out little motifs and make a little needle book or a little gift for someone. But this little sampler is not, it does not take long at all to stitch. Again, the stitch count is 91 by 97. The finish size on 36 count is 5 by 5 3/8 inches. So that is Caroline Carter. My next sampler is When Flowers Bloom 1830. This one was so much fun to reimagine. So this is one of my reimagined samplers. So what that means is I took a lot of aspects from the original and I reimagined it for reproducing or to bring to you. So here is the When Flowers Bloom 1830. So I'm going to come in and let you take a quick peek. All of these fun, beautiful colors are very vibrant, a very bold color palette. So the girl that stitched this, we do not know who. Her name is nowhere on the chart or nowhere on the little piece, but she was not afraid to use color. And I had so much fun creating the letter that goes along with this, because I just like to imagine so many things about this girl, because she quite honestly chose the most bold color palette I believe I've ever seen, with the mustards, the yellows, the purples, the blues, the browns. It made me wonder if she charted this from, or stitched this from discarded floss or threads that were given to her. So because the colors are just all over the place. This little sampler, you can do so much with it. You can stitch it as is, use these fun bold colors, you can frame it, you can change the colors, make them your own, you can make it a monochromatic piece. This would be so sweet stitched as a little needle book if that is something you want to do. It is a super quick stitch, a great gift for someone. But I loved everything about this. This was so much fun. Let me give you some information about it. So here's the pattern. It's in one of the bags. So here is the front cover. And this is a sampler reimagined by Annie Turner. It does have a letter with it. But the information, the stitch count is 77 stitches wide by 48 stitches high. I stitched this on 32 count Weeks Dye Works fabric. The color is linen. Again, any neutral color fabric will work. I decided to do 32 count because I wanted it to be a little larger. You can stitch it on a 36 or 40 count or 28 count. There are no specialty stitches, so this would be a great Ada project as well. The finished size on 32 count is 4 7/8 inches by 3 inches. I used 2 strands of floss over 2, and because the original was, I'm going to show you the original in just a second, but because the original was stitched in wool, it was badly damaged. The middle motif was damaged. That's the area I reimagined. I reimagined the middle floral motif. Everything else is just as this girl has stitched it. I tried as much as I could to pick colors that are just like the colors she used. And I used MPI silks for this because I felt like those colors, because she was so bold in her color choices, I really wanted those colors to just pop and stand out and be special. So these are stitched in NPI silks. I do have a DMC color conversion for you. So here is the original. And I've kept her in, this is the frame that it came in. And I can take it out if I need to. But I showed this one to y'all, and you can see how this was stitched in wool. So all of this has been damaged, and all of the floss has been lost in this basket. A lot of floss has been lost in this vase. These letters here are there, but they are in a very light color. I couldn't even see them, the ABC. And I love her choice of oranges and yellows and greens. So much fun that I felt like she needed to come back. She needed to be brought back to life. So she was reimagined into this. This is such an unusual little sampler. And I am so excited that she's back and she's with us. And she can just now sit on your shelf and on your wall. It can be a gift for someone, a super quick stitch. So this is When Flowers Bloom, 1830. Okay, so the third sampler, this is an exact reproduction that I would like to share with you, is Zeresh Andrus, 1789. This is a beautiful marking sampler. This is one of the oldest samplers. that I know of in my collection, because there may be some that are older that just aren't dated, but this one is 1789. And it is beautiful. As you can see, that what probably drew my attention to this original sampler was the beautiful shade of blue and the very unusual and unique alphabet. I love the W's in here, her A, and of course her name. It is a beautiful sampler. This is the one that Chrissy with Finally a Farm Girl model stitched for me, and I am so thankful that she did that. So let me tell you a little bit about Zeresh Andrus, 1789. This sampler I was able to find some information about her, and I list that in my letter to you with a photo of the original. This is the original sampler, and I showed this one to you as well. I've showed all of these to you in my previous Flosstubes. This one I got from an Americana dealer or antique shop owner. And this sampler, Zeresh is from Massachusetts, and that is where all of her family was from. She lived there her whole life. And so I give you information about what little bit we know about her children, her siblings. She comes from a family of 6 siblings and her children, and she was married twice. But this sampler was stitched 1 year before she married. So it is a beautiful marking sampler. I can see this stitched in any color. You can choose the color. I chose to stitch her on 32 count because I do think a lot of people like to stitch on a bigger count, and I thought this would be a good one to do that. It would also be beautiful stitched on a smaller count, and then you can put it on a board or a horn book. But this was so much fun to chart. Those letters are beautiful. I'm so excited to have her. So let's give you some information about Zeresh Andrus. She is 137 stitches wide by 128 stitches high. The finished size on 32 count is 8 inches, 8 5/8 inches by 8 inches. So she is a good, almost an exact square. I stitched this, or Chrissy stitched this for me on 32 count pistachio frappe from Grace Notes fabric. 2 strands of floss over 2 linen threads were used, and it is charted in DMC 823. And she is a very quick stitch. And look at this ampersand sign. I just love, I'm assuming that's an ampersand sign. That is what I'm calling it. It may just be a little squiggle. I do not know, or another initial. But it was very curious. There's so much left that I would love to know about Zeresh, but her skill level in designing these letters was just breathtaking. So I hope you enjoy her as much as I enjoyed charting her. But here she is again. That's the original. And here's the back of the original. I always love seeing the backs. But that's the back. So, and this is all charted in DMC. And this Pistachio Frappe by Grace Notes is a beautiful fabric. I have more of that coming. I can't wait to stitch more things on that. But that is Zeresh Andrus, 1789. And here is the cover of that. So let's go to the next one. Clarissa's Garden Sampler is a joy and a delight to share with you. I am absolutely in love with this sweet little reimagined sampler. So Clarissa's sampler, garden sampler, was originally a completely different sampler, and I'll show you the original in just a moment. But the original was stitched by a girl named Clarissa Burnett. And I have reimagined this sampler and renamed her into Clarissa's Garden Sampler. So here she is. So this beautiful sampler, what I loved the most about it when I found her was Clarissa's use of cursive alphabet. She did a beautiful job with her letters, and I absolutely loved everything about them. She had such an original way of placing them and styling them and designing them. One thing that I found that was really interesting was right here, right by the letter G, this little border, she stopped it right at the G as to not have the G hanging down around the border. So this here's G. My lighting is not great. It's still raining and thundering outside and super dark. But this sampler from here up is all Clarissa Burnett. I charted it just as Clarissa charted it. From here down is where I reimagined it. And I'll show you the original. So what I did is I recreated the bottom. Clarissa had these 4 ducks placed just like this in the bottom portion of the sampler. And I decided to recreate it and to reimagine it because there was some thread loss, and it looked like Clarissa was just learning how to do and chart and create motifs. And I just felt like because Clarissa did such a fabulous job at the top and with her little ducks, that I wanted to give all of those, bring them all together with a more sophisticated motif. So I created the vase with these flowers pulled from colors up in here. I added the hearts and the diamonds and left her ducks just as she had them. So Clarissa's Garden Sampler was a joy to work on. I absolutely loved this. Let me show you the original. So this is the original. And when I received it, it was hand stitched to this conservation type fabric and board. But I just kept thinking those colors, I couldn't tell what the colors were. So I decided to look at the back. So I removed a portion of the sampler so I can look at the back. And when I did, what was discovered, these are actually pinks and mauves and yellows. And I was thrilled to see those colors all put together because I just thought that they were very youthful, very feminine, very beautiful. Clarissa did her name in a beautiful job. I mean, she really did. Clarissa Burnett. This is not dated. I could not find any information on Clarissa. And then her vase was right here and very bulky and chunky. And so I just really wanted to bring her piece back to life in a softer palette. And so this is what we have. Clarissa's Garden Sampler. So let me give you some information about this piece. So of course I included a letter giving you some detailed information on the item that I found and just a little bit more info. I charted this in over-dyed floss. So the stitch count on Clarissa is 94 stitches wide by 143 stitches high. The finished size on 36 count is 5 1/4 inches by 8 inches. I used 36 count oatmeal by Fiber on a Whim, and I thought that the oatmeal did a beautiful job with the modeling on it. It's kind of a greenish tinge to it, but any neutral fabric, it will be beautiful. But I went with 36 count oatmeal, Fiber on a Whim. I used 1 strand of floss over 2. And I used a blend of Classic Colorworks, Weeks Dye Works, and the Gentle Arts. I did list a DMC conversion, and I think that's it. And then Bennett Gallery, Bennett, Ramona Bishop framed all of my pieces. I will also link their website below, so if you ever want to use them. I just loved this little frame. It has little bows on it, so I just think this is a beautiful sampler for a gift, lots of occasions. It's a quick little stitch. The letters were a delight to stitch. This bottom portion is sweet. It was just such a joy. Those colors are beautiful together. So this is Clarissa's Garden Sampler, and I hope you love her just as much as I do. And she was so much fun to find and so much fun to stitch. And I just think it's so fascinating that we can now bring some of these antique samplers back to life and enjoy them as they were enjoyed when they were first stitched. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back, recap, and do giveaways. So thank you all so much for listening and listening to about all of my new adventures and my new patterns. I am so excited. I'm so excited and cannot wait to bring more to you. Like I said, I have 4 that I am trying to hurry and get them finished. I am participating in the virtual or online needlework retailer market in August, at the end of August. I've registered. I am getting things ready for that. I may have some sneak peeks for you. So to purchase my patterns, you can find them in many different ways, or a few different ways. You can contact, first of all, you can go to my website, theproperstitcher.com. I do have a shop button. That shop button will take you to an Etsy store. So you can either go to Etsy or you can go to my website. I will link them both below. And you have your choice of a hard copy, paper copy for me to mail to you, or a digital download, a PDF download. You have a choice of both. And as I go through this process, I will ask for you all to give me some patience. I am hoping things go off without a hitch. I'm hoping that I can get these to you as quickly and as easily as possible. But this is new charted territory for me. So please be patient with me. And that is one way to find them. So my website shop button takes you to Etsy. Johnson City will have my patterns. When I go on Saturday, I will take them my patterns for them to have in their store. I will bring them with me to sell as well, and my models. And if I have time, in the future, I do hope to have some accessories to go with some of my pieces. So whether it's thread drops or scissor fobs or something to accompany some of the pieces. I just have not done that yet. So that is something that I hope to expand on. But on Saturday, I will have my models there, and I will have patterns to sell, and Sandra will have some in her shop going forward. Stitch Etc. will also have some of my patterns, or will have all of my patterns in their store. I will link both of those shops below with my Etsy shop and my website. So what I am asking you, I am going to contact other needlework stores to introduce myself and to let them know that I am now producing patterns, so that I can get my patterns to shops near you. So if you have a local needlework store and if you would like for them to sell my products, please have them contact me. I will offer wholesale patterns to needlework stores. So like I said, this is a new charted waters for me. I am learning as I go, and I am fortunate that I have a lot of help from a lot of people, but I'm still learning through this process. And this industry. It is so much fun, but I would love to have these patterns in needlework stores. But to start off, I will need to do some sort of online form for myself, because these shops don't know me. So that is why I am doing an Etsy store. The Etsy store may fade away and just be on my website, but for now, because I was trying to figure out so many things in this process, Etsy seemed to be the quickest and the easiest way for me to get my patterns to you. So Etsy shop, my website, Stitch Etc., and Cross Stitch and Crafts are currently the ways that you can get your hands on my patterns. So I am excited to see them go to you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go into our giveaways. Last week, I asked y'all to share with me where you like to spend your stitching money. So if it's at a local needlework store, if it is online, I just wanted to hear where you like to spend your money. If you are looking for a place to shop, read the comments from last week's videos to give you some ideas of some shops. You never know, you may find a new store in your area or a place for you to order. I really am a firm believer that I want to support local needlework stores. So it is important to me to get these patterns to needlework stores as well. I just really want to make sure I say that to you. Okay, so let's go into the giveaways from last week. So if I call your name, please email me at theproperstitcher@gmail.com and I will, and send me your address and I'll get these to you. Before I forget also, I will have at the end of this video a tour of my room. And I wanted to, there was something else I was going to tell y'all. I forgot. I don't think I wrote it down. That's probably why I forgot. But I have something else I'm going to tell you, and I'm sure it'll come to me in just a minute. But here are the winners from last week. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. Yes, even though I am now designing and stitching my designs or having model stitchers stitch for me, I am still going to stitch the patterns that I have always stitched. I still have a big whip pile that I am not going to neglect. Yes, I will be stitching my patterns, but during the day, how I've decided to do this is during the day, I will work on my patterns like it's my job. And then at night, I will stitch the other patterns that I show you all week after week. So it's not just going to be my patterns that I will be working on every day. So rest assured, you will still see some of our favorites that I've been sharing with you. So, okay, let's go into our giveaways. Last week, for my 100th episode, Stitch Etc. offered to give to the winner a $25 gift certificate to the store and a set of Nerge hoops. Kim and Ashley did a video last week on their Nerge hoops. If you would like to go to their video and see what they are. I have not used Nerge hoops. It's a mouthful for me to even say it, but I hear they're wonderful. So Kim is offering, Stitch Etc. is offering $25 gift certificate and a set of Nerge hoops. That goes to Mary Gordon, Gorden, Mary Gordon. Mary, email me and I will tell you how to go about claiming that. Number 2 is this set from Soulful Creations. This goes to Leah Richardson, L-E-A Richardson. Number 3 is another set from Soulful Creations. This goes to Karen Holler, H-O-L-L-E-R. Number 4 is Chicken Club Prudence and a needle minder from Soulful Creations. This goes to Linda Warner. The other number 4 is another Prudence Chicken Club chicken and a needle minder from Soulful Creations. This goes to Linda Hollingsworth. Then number 5, 2 sets of quilting foundation paper and a pattern. This goes to Lena Ellis, L-E-N-A Ellis. The second one goes to Kathy with an E, Paskey, P-A-S-K-I. Number 6 is 2 sets of Lori Holt stitch cards. The first set goes to Rita Lurch, L-E-R-C-H. The second one goes to Meredith Lewis, L-E-W-I-S. The next is number 7, the June Stackables. The first one goes to J. Manella, M-A-N-N-E-L-L-A. And the second one goes to Melody Patterson. Number 8 is another set of stitch cards from Lori Holt. This goes to Alyssa Rietveld, R-I-E-T-V-E-L-D, Alyssa Rietveld. Number 9 goes to Dawn Mass, M-A-A-S-S. And that is the Primrose Cottage July 9 patch. And number 10 is a not a John thread, but a drawn thread, 12 houses. This goes to Bippity Boo. Those are all the giveaways from last week. So if I called your name, send me an email at theproperstitcher@gmail.com and I will get those out to you. Make sure to send me your address. So the next giveaways, if you would like to enter a giveaway, subscribe to my channel, like the video, and leave me a comment below with the item number listed that you would like to be entered to win. And I did not think of a question for this week, so I completely forgot to think of that. It came to me as I'm reading my cup, courage, for my word of the year. What is a word or something that gives you inspiration? If it's a word that you think of, a prayer, a hymn, a Bible verse, something your mother told you, your grandmother told you, what is something your friends tell you? What is something or someone who encourages you and gives you courage? I would love to read that because we all have, I'm sure, so many people in our lives that lift us up, straighten our crowns, and just give us that courage and encouragement that we need. So give me that answer below and list the number that you would like to be entered to win. Okay, the first four are some of my patterns. So these will go to, 3 of you will win Caroline Carter. And you have a choice of the hard copy or PDF copy. So 3 of you will win Caroline Carter. This is number 1. Number 2 is When Flowers Bloom. 3 of you will win. You will choose either a hard copy or a PDF copy. That is number 2. Number 3 is Zeresh Andrus, PDF copy or paper copy. 3 of you will win. This is number 3. Number 4 is Clarissa's Garden Sampler. 3 of you will win either your choice of paper copy or PDF copy. And then we have number 5, Country Cottage Needleworks, 'Tis the Season. Number 6 is a Lizzie Kate Spring String. Number 7 is French Country Ducklings by JBW Designs. This is number 7. Number 8 is Stacy Nash Primitives Christmas at Hollyberry Farms. Number 8. Number 9 is an antique sampler reproduction from Cross Stitch Antiques. This is Mary Green Ashton School 1846. And number 10 is a Blackbird Designs, and this one is called With My Needle. This is number 10. So those are all of the giveaways for this week. So be sure to answer that question below. Tell me which one you would like to be entered to win. I will draw the winner either next Thursday or Friday. So, well guys, I am so excited, and I want to thank you again for watching this video, for encouraging me from the sidelines, and I'm just excited to see where things go from here. And I'm excited to bring more original designs and antique reproduction or reimagined samplers your way. So be sure and tell your local needlework store about me, and I will make sure to do the same so that we can get these patterns to your shop. Make sure to watch my sewing room video at the end, and I will see you next week. And if you will be in the Johnson City area on Saturday and you stop by, I cannot wait to meet you. So thanks again, and I'll see y'all next week. Okay guys, you all have asked for a quick little tour of my sewing room, and I'm going to give it to you. So you all have seen my bookshelves. We've discussed the bookshelves. I've given you a tour of the bookshelves, but that is what's on that far left wall. And I'm going to start right here as you walk in the door. I have these 2 antique samplers I think have been added since I did my last tour of my room. You will definitely see these guys reimagined in one form or another. I just really like a lot of the motifs in these. This one's so sweet with the dogs and the butterflies. And then coming over here, we have my printing station and all my paper, some patterns that are already printed. We have Frida and Diego that Kim Gavlik stitched for me, and it is beautifully framed. This is where I keep all of my shipping supplies. And then my bookshelves start over here. So just more decorative in nature. At the top, I have my 28 and 32 count linen in those two boxes. And then down here at the bottom, that's where I store all of my patterns in my stash, and they are organized by designer. I get asked a lot. I would say every week I get several questions about this sampler. This is an antique sampler. It is a Pennsylvania Dutch sampler, and it is quite honestly the prettiest sampler I believe I have ever seen, and I still cannot believe that I own this. And yes, I will be reproducing this sampler for you all to enjoy. And then this is where I sit and work and record my videos. I also stitch there during the day using this stand. This is just where I feel like I will work and design patterns and stitch during the day. So during the day I will stitch on my designs, and then at night I will stitch on all the other designs that I still love to stitch. That Humpty Dumpty that I get asked about a lot too, that was Matthew's when he was a little boy. His aunt made that for him, and I just love having him here. I do not know anything about the pattern. I mean, this was in the 1960s or early 70s, but he is quite literally sitting on a wall, so he is adorable. Then over here I have in those two boxes, that would be my 36 count and 40 count linen. And then these shelves are just for decorations. One of these days I will get back to my quilting. Then over here, this is where I have all of my floss. And I have it organized by manufacturer. So each drawer has a different company, and then within that drawer I have them organized on binder rings or paper rings and alphabetically. And then I have the television so I can watch Flosstube during the day while I'm working. And then my stitching chair is over here, and I have a magnifier light that I use and a Stella light. The Stella light is wonderful for those higher count threads. I really feel like I can see it a lot better. What I do is I sit in the chair at night, stitch on the other designers that I like to work on, and I pull from this basket. So usually that basket is over there by my chair, and I just pull from the basket and stitch and either watch something online or I listen to a podcast. So these are some more of my antique samplers that I've shown you before, and you may or may not see these again as far as reproduced, but some of them I have big plans for, and some of them are just too badly damaged, but I like having them. I feel like I saved them and they found their way home. But these are the ones that are framed. So that is my little bitty space. I'll stand in the corner. Try not to make y'all dizzy, but this is my room. So very narrow, but I'm very thankful to have a space to work in. So I will see you guys next week.